Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go down onto the hands and knees to begin. And we're just going to push back. If you guys have been following a few of the other videos, we're just going to push back like we're going into child's pose. Just going to kind of move through this motion. Just getting the hips kind of warmed up. Feel the stretch a little bit and come back out. We're going to keep the head and spine in a neutral position, so nice and straight. So nice and slow and controlled. A few more times. Good. Now let's roll over onto our back. And we're going to place the hands at our side. We're going to bring up both knees and we're going to rotate both knees side to side. Again, going nice and slow. Going at your own pace. Getting the lower back moving a little bit this morning. Nice and controlled. And relax there. We're going to go to the upper body next. I'm going to scooch off my mat here a little bit. We're going to come up. We're going to bring the hands together. And now we're going to rotate again, just like we did with the knees. Going side to side, nice and slow. You're going to go as far as you can in each direction without your butt, without the hips coming off the ground. So hands together, just rotating side to side. Go ahead and keep going, a couple more. And relax there. Let's go ahead and bend the knee. And we're going to place one foot up onto the knee of the other. All right. We're then going to take one hand and we're going to push out on that knee. Just going to push out and hold. And now we're going to take both hands and we're going to pull across the body. And push back out on the knee. We're going to do one more time, each side or each way. So pushing back out on the knee. Just opening up the hips this morning. And let's pull across on the knee again, both hands. And now we're going to leave both feet where they are. The foot that's up on the knee, we are going to rotate that whole leg at our hips here and bring this foot that's on the knee flat to the ground. And we're just going to hold this for a second. Excellent. Slowly come out of that. We're going to switch legs. So bring the other leg up onto the knee. And again, start by pushing out. And let's pull across, grab your knee with both hands and pull across. And again, push out on the knee. Pull across on the knee with both hands. Just nice and relaxed. Good. And leaving both feet where they are, dropping that foot to the ground, stretching that lower back and some hips some more. And relax there. All right, let's go ahead and come on up to the feet. So come all the way up. Feet just about shoulder width, maybe a little bit wider. We're going to inhale, we're going to take the hands up to the sky here. And exhale, we're going to collapse over, keeping the legs straight. And we're just going to relax here for a little bit. Just getting a nice stretch to the back side of the legs. Just a few more seconds, keep holding. Go ahead and bend at the knees. Slowly come on up. We're going to stretch our sides next. So let's reach up, grab one wrist. You're going to pull on that wrist and bend to the side. And let's switch, going the other way. And relax there. Let's do some hip rotations next. So let's place the hands on the hips. Again, using the hands to push your hips in a full circle here. So we're going to push to the side, and then we're going to swing the hips backwards, around to the other side, and then forward. So nice big circles here. Keep going nice and slow. And let's switch directions, going the other way. Good. And relax. If you need some water, go ahead and grab some. We're going to go back down onto the mat or onto the floor next. All right. So going back down onto the mat, I'm going to turn forward for this next one. So we're going to stretch out the hips some more. We're going to take one foot and place it out to the side. And then we're going to center our hands into the center of our body again. So find that comfortable position. We don't want it to be at one knee. We want it to be in the center where our hips are. From this position, we are going to push back. So I'm pushing through the palms, my arms are staying straight, and I'm pushing back like I'm going into child's pose as far as I can, and then coming back out of this stretch. So pushing back, nice and slow. And coming out. Go at your own pace here. In this starting position, you might already feel a stretch on both sides of the legs, so that's fine. Pushing back. Feel a good stretch and come back up out of the stretch. Good. Let's switch sides. So sticking out the other leg. And again, when you're ready, center of gravity here at the body, nice comfortable position, pushing the hips back. Go nice and slow at your own pace. Go as far back as you can. And then come up nice and slow. And relax there. Let's go into a tabletop position. All right, knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to go to some thoracic rotations here. So we're going to bring one hand and place it over next to the other. So I'll turn. So here in tabletop position, we're going to bring one hand, place it over next to the other. This outside arm, we're going to rotate up. You're going to stay on this side, look up towards the hand, and come back down. Again, go at your own pace here. Nice and controlled. Keep going with a few more. And relax there. Returning back to the starting position with the hands apart. Let's bring the other hand over. And again, now rotate to the side, looking up towards the ceiling. A couple more. Good. And relax there. Let's go ahead and lay back onto our back here. And let's just go through some stretches with the hips. So let's bring the knee up, wrap both hands around the knee, and pull that knee in towards our chest. Just nice and relaxed. Keep trying to pull that knee a little bit further. Let's go ahead and keep holding on to the knee with the same arm, and let's drop that knee to the side, opening up the hip. And now let's bring that knee towards our midline. So we're going to pull this across the body. We can use both hands here. We're only going to go as far as we can without that hip coming up off the ground. We're not rotating our spine. We're going to keep our hips on the ground. We're pushing in our knee to our midline and still pulling up at the same time. Again, nice and relaxed, just holding it. And relax on that side. Let's switch. Let's bring the other knee up. Pull the knee towards the chest, straight up. Again, nice and relaxed. Focus on breathing. With that same arm, we're going to now drop that knee to the side, pulling up and out to the side. And again, with both arms now, pull that knee up and towards the midline. Hip will stay on the ground, and we're not rotating the spine. And relax there. All right, let's go to some shoulders here. We're going to lay on our side next. Again, if you've been tuning into a few of my classes, we've done this one before. Body is nice and straight. Hand is going to be straight out and on the ground, the bottom arm. We are going to bend the bottom leg at our knee. All right, so bottom leg is bent, top leg is straight. And then we are going to use our other hand, and we are going to walk the hand using our thumb and our finger, or thumb and fingers, keeping the arm as straight as possible. Walking our hand around our head. Again, keeping the arm as straight as possible. Your shoulder will dip here. Arm is still on the ground. As soon as the palm wants to turn up towards the ceiling, you're going to get to a distance that arm is going to want to flip to the palm facing the ceiling. Then you'll come back and start over. So I'm going to turn around so you guys can see what my hand does. So as I come around, walking, it's going to get to a certain point where my palm wants to flip up. As soon as my palm wants to rotate up towards the ceiling, just come back to the beginning and go over again. So keep going here. Arm nice and straight as it goes around, or as straight as possible. When the arm flips, palm towards the ceiling, come back to the beginning. Go ahead and keep going. One more time. And relax there. Let's switch sides. Again, set up here, arms straight out on the bottom. Bottom knee is bent, leg is nice and straight. And then you can start walking the hand around. Keep going, a couple more. Keeping the arm as straight as possible. And relax there. All right. We're going to go back to the hips here. We're going to go back to a tabletop position. So back onto the hands and knees. And we're going to do a kin stretch here for the hips. So we're working on going or taking our hips to the full range of motion here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to slowly bring the knee, one knee up towards our chest. And we're only going to bring that knee up as far as we can without the lower back moving. So if my back arches, or if your back arches, you've gone too far. Bring the knee up without the back moving. Take the knee to the side again without the back moving. This is probably going to be a lot less than you believe. If you bring your knee all the way up, my back now is rotating my other side of my hips. So knee up, out. Once we get to this point, I'm going to rotate the heel of my foot up towards the ceiling. I'm going to go as far as I can here. After I've gone as far as I can, I'm going to raise my foot and swing my leg around. All right, staying on that side, we're going to keep going. So bring the knee back up towards the chest, out to the side, rotate, foot's going up towards the ceiling, and then swing the leg around. This whole motion is in the hip, okay? Even though I'm cueing you by saying rotate the foot, we're really rotating this whole structure at the hip. So think about what the femur is doing inside that hip joint, that capsule there. So bring the knee up, out to the side, rotate the foot up towards the ceiling. We're really rotating the hip here. Take the foot up and around. You can do this standing. Go ahead and keep going. If you can't be on the hands and knees, you can do this standing. Bring the knee up, out to the side. We're still going to rotate and then swing the leg around. Up, out to the side, rotate the foot, and bring the leg around. Go ahead and do a couple more. And relax. And we're going to switch sides now. All right. So again, nice and slow here on the other side. Bring the knee up towards the chest, out to the side, rotate. That foot going up towards the ceiling and around. All right. Nice and controlled at your own pace. Nice and slow. Bring the knee up, out to the side, rotate, and bring the foot up and around. Again, this is all focusing on the hip here, taking this hip through a full range of motion. We want to isolate the hip. So if you feel that your spine is moving, your arms are moving, we want to isolate that a little bit more. You're probably trying to push it too far. So keep the arms straight, the rest of the body nice and still. Hips or knee up, out to the side. Rotate that foot and swing the leg around. Let's give one more. Again, bring the knee up, out to the side. Rotate the foot and up and around. Good. Go ahead if you want here, take a little breather. You can push back into child's pose. Or if you want to grab some water, go ahead and grab some water. All right. We're going to lay down on our stomach next. And we're going to do a little bit of a stretch here, laying down to help stretch out our chest. So we're going to place one hand down. I should say, let me see here if I can turn a little bit better. So this arm is going to lay flat, okay? So like this, all right? If you guys can see me here. The one side is going to lay nice and flat here, elbow bent at 90 degrees at shoulder height. The other hand we're going to push with. So we're going to push here and we're going to rotate our body. So we're going to swing that leg over And we're going to push up with the arm. Again, you can do this similarly standing if you want. Arm against the wall and rotate away. Go ahead and keep pushing. Stretching that chest. If you sit down in a chair a lot, this is a great stretch to do. Keep holding just a little bit longer. And let's switch sides. So placing the hand here, bent 90 degrees, elbow or shoulder height. And then we're going to push with the other arm and rotate our body. Keep holding just a little bit longer. And relax there. We're going to come up now onto the knees. If you can't be on the knees, you can stand up for doing this as well. But we're going to go through the cervical spine here. We're going to do our head circles. So nice and relaxed at the shoulders. You can grip your hands behind your back if you want to help relax the shoulders. Or you can just keep them at your side, just nice and relaxed. We are then going to drop the head, all right, keeping the body nice and square. So if you're watching your own video or you have a mirror, make sure you're not leaning with the body. We want to keep our shoulders relaxed, nice and square. We just want to dip the head. If you place your hand here on your chest, you can kind of feel if that thoracic spine breaks and bends to the side. So keeping the shoulders square, we're going to rotate the head around. Again, when going to the back, if you feel a pinch when you're leaning your head back, go around the pinch. So come forward a little bit and then continue your circle. Just nice and slow. Do a shoulder check every once in a while to make sure you're nice and relaxed. If you want, you can close your eyes. If you feel a part that's like when you stretch, you really feel that stretch. If you want to pause there for a second or two, you can. And let's switch directions. So again, check your shoulders, make sure they're not shrugging up, make sure they're nice and relaxed. Good. Let's go into a tabletop position again. Let's work on some more spine mobility here. We want to place the knees right underneath the hips, arms right underneath the shoulders or hands underneath the shoulders. And we're going to focus on bringing our spine up, kind of going into that cat, dog, or camel, cat, yoga type stuff. But we're going to focus on bringing each vertebrae one at a time up. So going nice and slow. rolling the spine up, and then taking the spine back down in that same fashion. All right, so in the tabletop position with your back nice and straight, think about trying to take your back up nice and slow and then back down the same way. I like to tell people to close their eyes while doing this. Really focus on going nice and slow. Imagining each vertebrae, feeling what your back is doing. Just going nice and slow. Working on that spine mobility. Each vertebrae should be able to move independently in your spine. We got to get that neural connection with our spine. So closing your eyes, imagining, feeling each vertebrae slowly move, going up and down. Nice and controlled. Keep going. Give this a few more seconds here. Good. And relax there. All right. Let's go ahead and stand on up. Let's do a few stretches standing up. So let's get a nice wide stance. And let's turn one foot and face it 90 degrees out. We're now going to stretch the groin on the opposite side. So we're going to kind of bend that knee, bring our hips and body forward, and we're going to feel the stretch on the groin. Sitting up nice and tall here. You don't want to lean over. This is going to take the stretch away. We want to keep the shoulders up. If you want to reach your hand up, you can to intensify it. Otherwise, we're just going to hold this position. Good. And let's switch. Turning the other foot. Again, bending that knee, bringing the hips down, feeling the stretch here in the groin. Body is nice and straight. We don't want to lean over. Body's nice and straight. If you want to lean back, you can. Extend the arm, you can. And just keep holding that stretch just a little bit longer. And relax there. Let's go ahead and cross the feet here. So cross one foot over the other. And go down nice and straight. And coming on up, let's switch. And again, nice and relaxed coming up. All right, that is going to be it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in.